Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Allison dropping in to share with you 2 more pages from my December daily album. I didn't do a design portion to this video today. There was too much going on this morning and I ran out of time, so I just did the process video for days 3 and 4. Tomorrow I'll be back on my regular schedule and do the design with me portion and also the process video. This little video actually contains a little surprise. It will come at the end of the video, so you're gonna have to hold tight and wait for that. I hope you stick around till the end so you can see what I have planned for the house and trees in the top left-hand corner of the screen. So to start, I am inking the edges of this little 4x3 inch piece of white cardstock that I cut. I'm going to use it for sort of like a title spot. And then I'm also going to ink the edges of my base pages as well. My plan for the little 3x4 piece of cardstock that I'm working with right now was actually to stamp a background on it. When I designed this page in Cricut, I used a border multiple times to create a design on the page, but I didn't want to use that cut file because I knew that in my stash I had a stamp set, a border stamp set that I wanted to use instead. And this is it. I used Close to My Heart pomegranate ink to do the stamping. I actually wanted to be using candy apple to match the cardstock that I'm using throughout this album, which is candy apple, but I don't have candy apple ink. So the next best thing was pomegranate. And so that's what I'm using. And it's close enough. It's just slightly darker than the candy apple. So it works. It's not that big a deal. So the stamped paper is going in the top right-hand portion of the page. In a way, I split this page into 4 quadrants. It's actually going to be 3 because along the left-hand side of the page is going to be all of my journaling. And then on the right-hand side of the page is going to be the title spot and then my photo, which will be in the bottom right. So right now I'm just adding the snowflake that day number 3 is going to be adhered to. I cut that with my Cricut from white cardstock, and then I actually just mounted the snowflake circle cut to scrap white cardstock just so that everything stays together nicely. It cuts in like 3 pieces, and one of the center pieces that comes out needs to be adhered to something, and I don't want the stamping in the background to show through. So I'm just matting all of these elements to extra cardstock so that it hides what's behind it. Then I glued the number 3 on top of that. I cut that from mint cardstock, and now I'm working on just marking out my journaling lines. I like to go mark my journaling lines with the pencil and straight edge ruler, and then I go back afterwards if I want to add lines using my journaling pen after I've gotten my journaling written down. In this case, I will do that, but I'll just skip through it so you don't need to see me doing all of that. And I skipped through a lot of the pencil drawing process as well because it's repetitive and boring. My plan is to add a couple of candy canes down in the bottom there where you saw me just lay them. I'm not going to glue them right now because I want them to sit on top of the picture and sort of over top of my journaling as well. So I'm gonna add those when I finally do get my pictures printed and ready to put into the album, and then I'll glue the candy canes onto the page. I also forgot to add some, I think it's called Christmas red stickles, to the berry on the holly on the candy canes as well. That was my plan right from the very beginning, but I forgot. So after I snapped pictures of both of these pages, I went back to my Haven and just added some red stickles, and they'll be sitting on my desk for the night now until they're dry, and then I can move them to a safe place so I don't lose them between now and when I get my pictures printed. I'm just adding a Tim Holtz phrase sticker over top of day number 3. I just used some liquid glue to attach that to the number 3. And before I did that, I just added the sticker to some white cardstock, just for added insurance. Now I'm moving on to day 4. And on this page, I'm using a 4x6" extra piece of white cardstock. Once again, I'm using my pencil and straight edge ruler to mark out journaling lines. And on this page, I actually add a border around all of my journaling as well, just to kind of help contain it and give it the illusion that it's double matted, but it's not. And you'll see what I mean in just a moment here. I'm going to finish up my journaling. And then once that's done, I'll go over the pencil lines that I already made to mark out that box with my journaling pen. And then I'll go over it again just to kind of give it sort of that messy look. And then in the end, it makes it look like it's double matted. Even though the lines are not paper, I put them there myself. So here I'm just drawing in the lines. I'm not too worried about keeping them perfectly straight, just to add a little bit of interest to this page. This portion of cardstock is going to go on the bottom half of this page for day 4. And the title is actually going to overlap my journaling a little bit as well. I'm okay with covering up my journaling. It's only a small portion of it, and you can basically read between the lines and still get the gist of what it was I was saying in my journaling. Day 4 is about the opportunity I had just last week to ride along with my husband while he worked. He's a truck driver, and he was going to a location not too far from our home, just an hour from home. And we knew that we would be done before our daughters were finished school for the day. Well, as it turned out, he wasn't, but we made it back to town before the kids finished school. So I raced home to pick them up and bring them back to the shop with us so they could ride along with us for the last part of his job. And it was like one of the best days we've had in quite a while. It was a lot of fun. When my husband and I were dating, and actually even when we were married, before the kids came along, I rode with him quite often. And I miss those days. So when I get to ride with my husband, it's a day of pure bliss for me. So I included that in my December daily album. So there you can see I added the number 4 over the snowflake. I cut the snowflake in half. I do plan on using the other half of the snowflake somewhere in my album. I don't know where yet, but it will get used. I'm also just looking for another phrase sticker, and it happened to be a Tim Holtz phrase sticker again. So I'm just going to put that on some cardstock, cut that out, and then I'll adhere it over top of the number 4. I didn't mention day 3 is about Starbucks, I do believe. We flew up to the city that day to get some shopping done at Costco, and before we left town, we hit up Starbucks, and each of us got a drink from there to sip on while we drove to the city. So I snapped a picture of my Starbucks, my first love, and that is day number 3. So I'm just showing you again what the finished pages for day 3 and 4 are looking like, and now my surprise. I'm also making filler pages in my December daily album. So I'm going to have the base pages, which is what I was just working on, and these fun little interactive extras. So I did the first part of it that I just showed you off camera, and then realized after I got it done that I should maybe have something on the flip side. So I cut the house, which is so super cute, and then decided to add some trees to it. Got it all stickled up with my diamond stickles. Let that sit for a while. It's probably about an hour or so just to let it dry, and then I could adhere everything. And I thought that I would just add this to my video just to kind of show you that there are going to be little treats like this snuck in here and there in my album. Just for something fun to add. I see a lot of other people adding stuff like this to their December daily albums as well, and I really like the idea. So stay tuned for more fun little treats like this. I just thought I'd do a real sort of quick flip through of my album, and then after this I've got close-ups and still shots. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and a like if you did enjoy it. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss anything from me. I really appreciate everybody's comments, likes, and all of your really sweet comments. I just said that, didn't I? I really appreciate all of you, and thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I will be back again tomorrow with more inspiration for you. Until then, have a great afternoon, and I will see you again soon. Bye, guys.